Hello everyone, and welcome to Papercrafting Playdate. My name is Robin Armbrecht with Really Robin Stamps, and I am so excited that you are joining me today in my craft room. We're going to make some things with paper and try a fun fold today. It is September 23rd, 2022, and this is episode 70. And whether you are joining me live today or you are watching this somewhere down the road later, I'm really thrilled that you are joining me and so thankful that you are going to spend some time with me learning about a fun fold today. So I'm going to turn you to my crafting table and let's get started. So it is September and it is starting to just this week feel like fall in Springfield, Illinois, where I am located. And so that is pretty exciting. We have a crisp day today and it's just perfect. So let me get you pulled up on Facebook so those who are joining me live, I can see who's gonna watch today. Hello everyone. Happy Friday. Hi Rebecca. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Linda. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Lolita. Hi, Mary. Oh, it's so great to have everybody here. Hi, Susie. So, I thought since we were officially, as of yesterday, in the season of fall, it would be fun to do some fall cards today, and I was really excited about doing a fun fold. So it's a new fun fold that to me, it's new to me, it's not new, and it's pretty fun. So let's get some business out of the way here. We have 1 week left in September, and so this particular Hostess Code of mine will be valid through the end of September, and this month's reward for ordering $50 or more is this amazing little kit. Don't miss this. This comes free and this comes from me. This is my reward for you using my Hostess Code. Hi, Polly. Hi, Barb. Hey, Wanda. So you're going to get one of each of these great little Tea Boutique pre-printed cards in the in color. So these are already scored, colored, ready to go. You're going to get the matching envelope, and then you're going to get a little 3x3 piece of all 12 of the Tea Boutique Designer Series papers and some little stitched greetings, and then some of the in color ribbon. And so this is going to be a little kit that will be fun to use and just make some fun cards with. So use this Hostess Code to earn this kit with a $50 order, except if you're going to order a bunch of stuff and you order over $150 worth at one time, that makes you the hostess. So you don't use my code, you get to be your own hostess and earn your own rewards. When I earn the rewards, then I turn around and I purchase things that I give back to you, and that's the purpose of the Hostess Code. In other news, this is the last week of the weekly deals. There's some things on sale, so check out the online store. I don't have that flyer in front of me. Also, September will end this Perfect Partners promotion, so there's certain extra die sets available right now. What else? World Card Making Day. Stampin' Up! Is having this first ever virtual event for everybody on October 1st, which is World Card Making Day, is usually the first Saturday in October. And they're going to be featuring these 3 bundles. You can sign up to watch, and you it kind of tells you what they're going to be using. This is all on I think there's a link. There'll be a link below in the description box for this, but also on my blog, also on Stampin' Up's website, you can find out more information. You can stamp along, you can just watch. It's a 3-hour event, and they're going to feature these great bundles. So I think that's really cool, and I can't wait to give it a try. If you purchase one of these bundles ahead of time, by October 1st, you're going to get from Stampin' Up! A free package of the iridescent basic pearls, which are very pretty. So, okay, I think that's our business. So let's get down to the business of the day, and let's get in the mood for fall. Are you guys doing anything fall-ish where you are located? Make sure you leave a comment, say hi, say where you're from. I'm trying to get the comments there. Oh, good. Ohio and Arizona. Yes. And tell me, what are you doing to get in the fall mood? What is your favorite thing to do when fall starts to happen? I'm telling you, looking at this paper makes me get into the fall mood. Look at these gorgeous colors. This is the Rustic Harvest 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. I'm on page 49 of the mini catalog. Look at these great classic fall colors. Mary Merlot, Cajun Craze, Crushed Curry, Mossy Meadow, Early Espresso. You can't get better than that, right? And it just looks kind of like it's drawn like a chalkboard and colored. And then you've got these amazing black and white patterns to use as well. So this is very versatile. So we're going to use this for our first card. We're also going to use this Hello Harvest bundle. So let's pull out our papers here. So the fun fold that we're going to make is called, it has a very complicated name, I'm realizing as I was doing some research on it. It's called a front step pop-up panel card, which is, that's a lot of information in the title, but I guess because it's kind of specific in how it works, it has a very complicated name, I guess. I'm not sure why. So let me see, let me move this over. I'm gonna make sure everybody can see. All right, so here is this bundle, and I'm using the pumpkin and the pumpkin topper today, but it also has this little sunflower and a leaf, fun greetings. This is just a really great set. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take my memento, and I'm going to, first of all, stamp a pumpkin. So I'm stamping this on Cajun Craze, since that's the color that is in this paper. And I'll clean off that pumpkin, and then I'm going to stamp this beautiful little sunflower cluster. And I'm going to be coloring these in with my Stampin' Blend marker. So I'm using the Memento ink because that's the ink that coordinates with those markers. They go together. Isn't that fun? Okay, so this, let's see, where did they go? There was so much in my box here that of supplies. Here they are. They're all over. So here are the dies that are going to cut out these two pieces, these images. And I just went ahead and already did that just to save us a little bit of time. And now we're going to add some color. So let me just see if I can zoom in a tiny bit. There we go. All right, so this is already on cardstock here, right? So I don't need to add a lot of color, but I want to just kind of give some shadows to this. It's going to be very subtle. So I'm taking the light Cajun Craze Stampin' Blend, and I'm just going to go right over those lines that are already there, that the artist who made this stamp image created for us. So that makes it pretty easy. So this is the light Cajun Craze, and you can see it when you use the Stampin' Blends on any color cardstock except for white, it really soaks in, so you can hardly see that, but it's adding just a little bit of shadow. And then I'm going to take the bullet tip of the darker Cajun Craze, and I'm going to go right along those fun rounded parts of the pumpkin. So I really don't have to do a whole lot of blending here. I'm just kind of adding some shadows. Okay. As long as I've got the Cajun Craze out, we're going to start coloring this little cluster here. There's a bunch of tiny little flowers, so I'm going to do these little flowers. There's only 2 of them. I'm going to do those in Cajun Craze. Since it's a very small image, I'm going to use the bullet tip, and I'm really just going to not even like color like a marker. I'm just dotting it. You have a little bit better control that way. And with the lighter Cajun Craze, I'm going to just add little dots on this little sprig here, right where there's little dots. That'll just give it a little bit of color. All right, let's do our flowers. So I've got Daffodil Delight. I'm going to take the brush tip and do the flowers, the little petals. If you haven't used Stampin' Blends before, they are an alcohol-based marker, and so they stay active on the cardstock for a while before they dry. And so there are 2 shades of every color, a light and a dark. And what that allows you to do is blend them together. That's why they're called Stampin' Blends. So you can add the light and the dark together, and you just get the instant highlighting or shadowing. So I'm just going over those lines again that the artist drew on that image, making it very easy. So that we've got some. Hi, Narita. Hey, Carol. Who else is here? Hi, Julie. Hey, Cindy. Hi, Patrice. Oh, Barb made soup. Yes, I'm making chili later on today. My first batch of chili. All right, I'm going to do the center of the flowers with crumb cake. So I'm going to start with the light, color in the whole area, and then I'm going to go back with the dark and my bullet tip and just kind of dot around that shaded area. I like to pretend that I'm an artist, right? If I like to watch people paint online, I'm fascinated by it. I would love to learn how to paint. And I like to use my Stampin' Blends like a paintbrush. And so instead of like how you would typically use a Crayola marker to color, I like to use the brush tip and the bullet tip and kind of pretend they're, well, I don't pretend, I use them like they're brushes. And I find that it helps me stay in the lines, and I always get a better effect from it. So I'm going to use Old Olive here. And I'm going to just color these tiny little leaves. Now these are so small, there's no room for shading. Okay, and then I'm going to take the light Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to make these sunflower leaves here a little bit darker, so I'll have 2 shades of green, and this will just kind of bring out those colors in the paper. So I'm just using the same kind of colors that are in the designer series paper that I'm going to put on this card. Okay, done coloring. Now let's get to the business at hand. Let's put this fun fold together. We'll put these aside for right now. All right, so this is a front step let me zoom out just a little bit. There we go. This is a front step pop-up panel card. Okay, so the piece of paper that you need is 4 1/4 by 11. So this is half a sheet cut the long way. And you're going to score it. So here's the measurements. You're going to score it at, move that cutting blade. You're going to score it at 1 inch. And you're going to score it at 2 1/4, 4 1/4, and then 5 1/2, which is right in the middle. Hi, Sonal. Who else? Hey, Crystal. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Okay, so here are our score lines. Again, 1 inch, 2 1/4, 4 1/4, 5 1/2. I will have the PDF as usual, so you don't have to write this down. So one of the lines, the 5 1/2, obviously makes this go right in half. So I'm going to press on that one first, and then just one at a time, I'm going to fold on all the lines and crease them in the same direction, like that. All right, so this is like a basic card base, but what we're going to do is create a front step. So I thought this was really cool because, like, everybody decorates their front steps at this time of year, right? We get all excited to decorate for fall. And so I liked that this was called a front step. So basically what we're going to do is fold it like this and attach those score lines and make them into a step so that we have a front step. All right, so our adhesive goes on this 1 inch panel right here. I'm going to use liquid glue, but this is a good time to use Seal Plus or to use tear tape. All right, so what you're going to do is fold this over, and we're going to attach it to this part here. Now, the thing when you make your first one that you'll want to remember is that, so here's the card folded in half. Okay, we're not going to attach that folded with our card folded in half. We're going to move up one score line and then attach it. Okay, so you don't have to worry about like trying to line this up and make sure it's straight. All you have to do is fold on this this score line right here, which would be the, let's see, 1 inch, it would be the 4 1/4 score line. And then you just fold that over and press that down. Okay, so I'm gonna just give that a minute to set. Okay, and then we'll just pop that up. So I'm going to just press on these lines again so that they're nice and creased. And so now we have a front step. And so it's going to stand up. This is a great card to make during the season because you can display this so nicely, or the person who gets it can display it. Okay, so this is a front step pop-up. So this is the front step part, and this is the pop-up part. So this piece measures 5 5/8 by 2 3/4, and it's scored at 3/8 and 1 5/8. Now I found this pattern on Pinterest, and these are the dimensions that I got from another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, Tammy White. She has a whole series on these cards. You should definitely go watch it. She makes a ton of them. And so this was my prototype. This was the first one that I did. And I ended up just tweaking this panel piece, which you're going to see on the next card that I show you. So this is a very flexible part of the card. You can make this pop-up piece different sizes, okay? But for this very first one, it's 5 5/8 by 2 3/4. All right, so I'm just showing you where we're heading here, but we're going to decorate the front step portion of the card before we attach this piece. But this is how it sits together, and then it closes, and then it stands up. It's amazing. All right, so we're going to bring in our paper now. And we're going to attach our paper to our front step. Has anybody made one of these already? I would love to know if you've made this kind of card. Hello, Donna. Okay, so that piece goes there. I have all the dimensions for these pieces, but basically they're just like a 1/4 inch smaller than the space I'm putting them on. And we'll put the leaves back here. Okay, so now we've decorated the front step like that. And we'll attach this piece. All right, so you kind of do the same thing. I'm going to put adhesive on this little piece here. And for this particular one, it gets lined up at the bottom with this size. It gets lined up with the bottom of the designer series paper and then the top of the designer series paper. So I'm going to just close it. And then, so this piece is laying flat like that. And then I'm going to line it up with the top of the designer series paper and make sure that I've got it centered. Okay, so let me press this. Okay. Oh, Julie's tried this layout with the teacups. Oh, cool. All right, so now this is attached right here. And then I'm going to just fold this part flat and then attach this to the bottom. I'm going to put some adhesive here. And again, that's going to line up with the bottom. So I'll show you in my next card how I kind of adapted this piece a little bit. So again, this panel pop-up can be very flexible. So now you just want to fold it both ways to make sure it's in the right position. Okay. All right, now we're going to decorate our pop-up panel. So I've already cut a stitched rectangle out of one of the designer series papers, and I'm going to put that on some old olive cardstock here. And then we'll attach this to our panel on the pop-up. So our focal point here will have all the color. All right, now we're ready to add our fun pumpkin. So let's put that right here. And this is going to get popped up just to give it a little dimension. I wish this pumpkin and those sunflowers in the inside were sitting on my front porch right now. It's so cute. Okay, so I've also just cut out one of these stitched banners, and we'll put our greeting on here. And I'm going to take a minute because these letters just have a tiny little, I'm going to just add some color just to help kind of coordinate everything together. It's very subtle. You can't see a lot of the color, but it just adds a little bit. All right, and then we'll attach that, and this is basically done. So since there's a little bit of dimension on this piece, I'm just going to put one dimensional on and then attach the other end with the liquid glue. Like right there. Okay, what do you think so far? Now, before I finish this off, I'm going to add the back. I could have done this right away. With this particular card, you just add a piece, a little trimmed quarter to the back so that you've got a place to write. And we will just do a little bit of stamping. This cute banner is part of this stamp set. And of course, there's a die to cut it out. And then we'll add some sunflowers. These little corner pieces are fun too. There's this like little dotted line, and then so you can add little like scripty things. Flourishes, I guess they're called. You can add that along the outside. This is a really fun stamp set. And Lynn, you're right. I think it is currently unavailable right now. They're getting more back in stock, so it will be available again. But this is a good one if you don't have a nice pumpkin in your collection. It's a great pumpkin. All right, so we'll put that on the back. And we're going to add just a little bit of ribbon here. All right, so this looks pretty labor intensive because I made this one pretty detailed, but we're going to make this again as we do. And I just want you to see how really this fun fold is very simple. So let's tie some ribbon. Our very favorite black and white gingham ribbon. Okay, I do have one last step for here. I thought these little puffs, I don't know if you can see that. This little flower right here looked like little puffs. And so I thought it would be fun to add the snowball puff paint to make these look like pussy willows. Because those are kind of a fall thing too, I think. I think they're fallish. So this comes out the consistency of like Elmer's glue, and you just need a little tiny bit. So I don't know if you can see that, it's just liquid. And then you can actually let it dry like this, and it'll become clear. But what you're supposed to do with it is heat it with your heat tool, and then it puffs. So let's see if you can see this. Okay, so hopefully maybe you can see how this just like puffed up. Most of the time we use this puff paint for snow because it looks great on on trees or on snowmen or any kind of like little, you know, snow thing. But I thought this would kind of make it look like pussy willows. So you'll have to let me know what you think about that. All right, so there is our front step. Let me just there we go. There's our front step pop-up card. I love it. I love it. Yeah, my best friend Claudia, she is so good at saving her favorite like seasonal cards, and then she puts them up around her house as decoration. And this would be a great one, right? This would be a great one to set up for the person you give it to or for you. Okay, let's do this again. Hold on, I gotta show you this one. All right, give me your opinion here. So I did this card again, and I colored in. Hey, Claudia, you're watching. I colored in the paper to just kind of match the colors. Which one's your favorite? Which one do you like? You like them both? I mean, I love the black and white, but then I colored it. I'm like, I kind of like that one too. You have to let me know which one's your favorite. And so here's another example of just using the same designer series paper. A very simple card, very simple focal point. So these are very fun. Okay, let's do this again. And let's make, all right. You like both? You like the one that's not colored? Have to get some puff paint, I know. It's hard to choose. It's hard to choose. Yeah, I agree. Especially the leaves. I'm not sure I love how I did this plaid, but the leaves are really pretty. Very pretty. Okay, so here's our 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score it again at 1 inch, 2 1/4, 4 1/4, 5 1/2. Okay, so that's our easy card base. And now I just wanted to show you how this works with 6x6 paper. So I'm using Parakeet Party, and I'm going to use a piece of the designer series paper, Parakeet Party, and I'm using one of the patterns here. And so when you cut your designer series paper, you want it smaller than your card base. Your card base is 4 1/4. So I'm going to cut this at 4 inches. And 4 by 6 inches is the perfect amount of designer series paper to fit onto these pieces. Watch. So you turn this. Let me pull out the dimensions here. This will make more sense, I think. Well, I'll pull it out in a second. All right, so to cover these panels, I need a 3 1/4 inch piece for the top, a 1 inch piece to cover the top of the step, and then a 1 3/4 inch piece to cover the front of the step. And so it's exactly the right amount, which I love it when it works out that way. So let's put this together again. And you can see okay, remember when you fold this together, you're going to fold on the 4 1/4 line to attach the step. Okay, so now we've got our designer series paper. And, oh, we have to choose which side to use. So this is going to be a Halloween card, and so I'm going to use these little dots because they look kind of like the sky. And I think I will just use the dots on all of this. Like that. Okay, so there's our step. Like that. So here's where I changed up the pop-up panel, and I made it a little shorter because I kind of liked this version just a little bit better. And so this pop-up panel is 3 inches by 5 1/4, and we're going to score it. Let me clean out the track here. Got a lot of crud in there. We're going to score it at a 1/2 inch. I wanted just a little bit bigger flap to put the adhesive on. So I made this a 1/2 inch, and then we're going to score it 1 3/4. And then this is going to give us kind of a little bit here. I'll just show you. So here's this panel here. It's a little bit longer, and this is going to be a little bit more more square of a rectangle. So let's attach it. Okay, again, you're going to line it up with the top of the Designer Series paper and making sure it's centered. So that's attached, and now we're gonna fold that flat the other way, and then we're gonna attach it here. So I'm just gonna put a little adhesive down here. Okay, so there's our pop-up step. All right, so let me show you what we're using. We're going to use this little bundle here called Scary Cute. Scary Cute is also in the mini catalog on page 56. It has these great little shadowed silhouette figures with some dies. So that's pretty fun. And these dies are really cool. So let me show you what I did. I first took black. So it comes with this great frame, which is great just for any kind of card. And then it has an insert that will cut out, I guess it goes this way. When you layer them together and cut them out at the same time, it makes a frame. And so I did that first. And you get this. So you've got those beautiful little trees on there. And then I went ahead and cut this one again with some white so that I could get the piece that's going to work behind here. And you've got all these bats, and you have got a little flag that fits all the greetings. It's a really well-designed bundle, I think. Okay, let's put that back. And let's get out what we're going to use here. What greeting should we use? We'll use that one. Okay, so let's make this look like a little knight. And I'll take the white and we'll do some shading. Let's take the parakeet party. And I'm just gonna put a little bit right in the middle. It would kind of be like the moon glow. And then we'll make the sky all around with the starry sky. I'm gonna make it pretty dark because I want it to look like a night. Okay. So now we can stamp our little silhouettes. I love these three running in the same direction here. And I'm going to use StazOn to stamp these guys because I want them to be very, very dark black. And we'll stamp them right there. Okay, so you can kind of see, here's our little night scene. Isn't that cute? It's so easy, so simple. Okay, now we're going to layer this together on top. After using StazOn on your stamps, I used the StazOn cleaner, and it has this little brush on the top, and this is the black StazOn ink that comes off. So I just cleaned this off with water because I did it right away. I didn't, I didn't let the ink really dry on my image. It didn't stain it, but because the StazOn is a permanent ink, you can stamp with it on glass and ceramics and things like that. It dries pretty quickly, and then it's permanent, basically. So if you, let's say you were making these as Halloween cards and you did it over and over, this would be a little bit harder to clean. With just water, it wouldn't work, so you would need to add the StazOn cleaner, and you just rub that over top, let it sit for a second, and then wipe it off, and it works out really nicely. Okay, so we need our greeting. Okay, so I decided to layer this onto a little piece of starry sky just to make that dark blue kind of pop a little bit. And I went ahead and I used the 3D brick embossing folder on it, brick and mortar, so that it would just kind of add a little texture element. And let's put this together. Seen some amazing things done with this stamp set on Pinterest, like using vellum or window sheets, and they make little windows for tea lights. Oh, there's some really cool things with this little frame and the stamp set. Okay, so we're just going to put that right there. So here's our greeting. I just want to add some bats to it. And I'm going to use the blue. The starry sky. We'll just put a couple little bats on our greeting. And pop that up. Like that. Okay, last thing we need to do is our bats. Let's see if I have them all here. Well, I know I cut out more than 3, so let's see if they show up here. Oh, here they are. There's 3 sizes of bat dies. They're real cute. There's a large, medium, and a small. I'm just going to get that on my Take Your Pick tool. Let's do this large one. So what I forgot I was going to do is I was going to trim this little guy and stick him. See how he's a little too tall. I was going to put this little haunted house up here. Let's see if I can trim it and make it work. I just thought it'd be cool to have a haunted house in the background. Let's see, is that enough? Not quite. Let's do a little bit more. Okay, that'll work. All right, I'm thinking about soup. Somebody was talking about making soup, and now I'm thinking about soup. That sounds really good. What is your favorite fall soup to make? I get real excited about all the kinds of chili, and then I get really excited about anything that has like squash in it or pumpkin. I always like those really savory soups. All right, let's see how that looks. We need one more. We'll make it an odd. Okay, so there is our little scary card. And of course, on the back, you can mimic the front and decorate that back piece. And we'll add our grading. Oh, I think we need one more little guy. They're just so cute. Let's put one more little guy in there. There we go. Oh my, things are falling. Okay. This turned out kind of cute. Okay, so this is the same as the first one that we made, except I changed the size of the pop-up panel. So this pop-up panel is, here's the 2 dimensions. This was the first card. This is the second card. Okay, so you can just kind of see the focal point difference. So again, this piece is flexible. You just have to make sure when it closes that it's not going to extend over the top of the card. So you just have to keep that in mind. What I liked about this one was that I could see more of the designer series paper, and it looked kind of centered on this front of the step. So I kind of liked that just a little bit better, but it depends on what your focal point is if you need more space to decorate. Okay, I have one more to show you. And we're gonna step up the front step card. How does that sound? So I've already put together, okay, we'll see you in just a minute. All right, so I've already put together the step part, and I did it with crumb cake. I did it exactly the same. And I just wanted to show you that you can add an extra layer. There's plenty of room when you cut this designer series paper to add a layer of cardstock. And so when you do that, here's the designer series paper measurements for all of these cards, okay, for these 3 sections. This is 3 1/4, 1 inch, and 1 3/4. If you want to add a cardstock layer, then you just add 1/8 of an inch. And you know, I prefer to never deal with 1/8 of an inch sizes, which I think is why I wanted to switch this one, because it was 5 5/8 by 2 3/4, and then you had to score it at 3/8 and 1 5/8, which, you know, I can use a ruler, but at the same time, I just really like my 4ths and my halves. But so anyway, these are the cardstock layers. So I just wanted you to see how it just adds a little bit more to the card if you want to add another little extra layer. So again, I'm using the 6x6 designer series papers that coordinate with all the colors. So these are in the main catalog on page 135. And of course you can get the in colors. That's what I used for this one. But you can also get every single color family a package of these. So they're showing you the subtles here, but you can also get the brights, the naturals, and the regals. And the regals scream fall to me. All of these colors are just so rich. You've got red, pumpkin pie, old olive, rich raspberry, crushed curry, garden green, cherry cobbler, spruce, and then blackberry bliss. So this is a great fall, you know, if you don't like any of the fall papers, like this is great. Just use this. You get 4 different designs. I love it. So I picked out the Cajun Craze designer series paper, and I did that 4x6 cut, and then I cut these measurements, which just works so perfectly. And I decided to flip some of the sides so the papers wouldn't all be the same. So on this one, you know, I just used the same side, but you can, you know, flipped it. So I've got different colors. And then I made the panel, the pop-up panel, the same way, using this dimension here, 3 inches by 5 1/4. And I covered with some more of the other patterns so that I would get all the sides covered with this beautiful paper and see all the different patterns, okay? So if you're gonna cover this piece, the pop-up panel, with the designer series paper, you know, it's real easy. Whatever size you make your pop-up panel, you can just cover it. You can, you know, leave some of the crumb cake showing. There's just so much flexibility there, but this is the size of the designer series paper that I used here. So here's tear and tape. So let's put this together. So remember, you line this up with the top of the designer series paper, centering it. So now that's attached. And then you fold the step down and you lay that flat. And it's gonna be centered down here. So there's our fold. I love that color. Okay, so this is another fall set that is gorgeous. Fond of Autumn. It's also in the mini catalog, the January to June. Here it is right here on page 52. Very beautifully hand-drawn fall images. Let me show you what's kind of brilliant about this. So I took this image here, which is a nice big stamp. And I stamped it on crumb cake. And then you've got some options here with the dies. So this die right here will cut out the whole thing. So you get one big grouping. This die right here cuts out the whole thing, but in sections, because there's really different images here. There's the leaves and the acorns, the flowers, and then these little sprigs with the berries. So this is absolutely brilliant, I think, because how cool is that? And then it has this beautiful like texture piece. It's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun stamp set and bundle. All right, so I already did that ahead of time, and I've even colored them because I used my Stampin' Blends again, but I just wanted you to see how these work, the Stampin' Blends, how they work on colored cardstock. That's kind of a different neutral, right? So we colored on Cajun Craze with our pumpkin, but now I'm doing this on crumb cake. And I'm doing it with early espresso ink, so I'm not even using the right ink, but I've found that it still works. And it might smear a little if you, I'm talking about the early espresso that I stamped this in. It might smear a little if you do it immediately. Right after, if you start coloring immediately right after you stamp. But it's not smearing now. So I'm just adding some of those darker highlights. This is the Blackberry Bliss set of Stampin' Blends. It's reminding me of, I know these aren't mums, but I love that purple, dark purple color, Mum. so we have some shading there. And then we'll just put yellow in the center. I'm going to take the darker daffodil and go around the outside. Just kind of blend it right into the purple. Okay, so there's our flowers. So let's assemble this. So we've got just kind of this simple, basic, you know, patterned background. And we're just going to layer these on. I like the look of using crumb cake or Sahara sand, any of those colors when you are using the Stampin' Blends. It just gives it a little something different. So this is going to go right in the middle here. So I'm just kind of tucking these things around. So remember, you can put things off of this panel, but this panel goes all the way up here, so you can only put it off just a tiny bit. So I'm going to do that. And then I've already stamped and cut that out. I did a little bit of shading with my blends, and we'll just pop this up right here. Like that. This is again with this fun fold. Once you've made one or two, then it starts to get really easy. I'm going to double this up and make a bow. So I'm going to fold that in half. Let's see, did you guys talk about your soups? I hope you talked about your soups. What's your favorite fall color combination too? Do you like these classic colors? Are you kind of like I love the new, like how teal and like that minty green gets put into the fall color combinations. Oh, that's cute. All right, so we'll attach this with a glue dot. I like this one. I didn't make it in this color to practice, so I'm kind of enjoying that Cajun. And I saw that these champagne rhinestones really go well with Cajun craze, so that's what we're going to put on ours. So let's find a big space, and we'll put a few of these around. Back like that. Okay. you liking that one? What do you think? I love this space up here too. I'm going to show you a sample in a minute. You've got a little extra space there that you could put another greeting. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I did the exact same thing. I used the rich raspberry paper and I backed it with the cardstock layer. Narita, you like traditional fall colors? Yeah, me too. Me too. So here's what I'm talking about. You can put a little extra greeting there, especially because this is going to be displayed, right? So you want to make sure you, you know, you can utilize all your space and have it say what you want it to say. So I also used the champagne rhinestones on this one because I used some soft suede with my rich raspberry. And I liked how those look with the rich raspberry. Okay, so here's just a different version with that same pack of 6x6 designer series paper. I think a lot of times, you know, when I, and I love this about Stampin' Up! Because almost everything comes with a suite and coordinating products, but you know, when you think about these butterflies, I think about the butterfly paper, which is beautiful, but I really was trying to force myself to like try to use the butterflies with different colors and different paper. And so that was really fun. And I loved that they just kind of stand out to me a little bit different. Okay, so there's that one. And then here is a Christmas one. This is with the gingham cottage paper. And it's also mounted onto cardstock. But that would be great, right? For a little display for Christmas. Love it. Okay, but I forgot to show you, here's my other version of the card I just did. When I first made it, I did it with the old olive papers, which I really loved how it looked different. And I also stamped on top of the paper so that I kind of had that secondary greeting. So sending many thanks, thank you back here. So it looks like a totally different card, doesn't it? I think you can keep it very simple if you were making a bunch of these, like for Christmas or whatever. If you, you know, don't add the cardstock layer, especially if you're making mass producing, right? You can keep it very simple with your designer series paper and still have a gorgeous card. Obviously, this one, you know, doesn't have the cardstock layers. It's just very, very simple. Okay, and look, now this is where I ran out of time this week. I'm going to have to keep playing with this idea because let me just blow your mind for a little bit. Okay, what if on this card we had turned it, right? This is probably then called a side step or something like that. But you could turn your focal point this way, right? And make it a card that is in the landscape version. I probably should have done that with this one, but like I said, I ran out of time. But wouldn't that be cool to do this as a landscape version? And so then I played with one and I made it into a landscape version, but a front step. And so when you download the PDF, I will also have the dimensions to make this one. As it's just a little bit different measurements, makes the same finished card size, and it all fits in an envelope, a regular envelope. It's just landscape. So here's what I'm talking about, that butterfly paper, right? I love this butterfly paper, but I wanted to see this stamp set without seeing those colors, right? And it was really fun to just use ink and a couple colors with them. So, oh my goodness. All right, I had so much fun showing you this fun fold, this front step pop-up. Let's bring these back here. You can see them all. Let's see the comments here. You like the old olive one. Where did I put that? Here we go. Here's the old olive. Here's the Christmas one. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. You guys definitely have to try this. This is a fun fold. I would love it if you would post some of your post your cards into the Robin's Really Super Stampers group. Thank you very much, everybody. So give this one a try and let me know what you think about it. Let me know in the comments if you've tried this card, if you're going to try this card, and let's chat about it. Thank you so very much for spending time with me today. And until next time, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.